DeMar DeRozan, the newest member of the San Antonio Spurs. Man, what was this past week like for you?
Oh, man, it was a blur. It was a dream. Still kind of feel, like a dream right now. But it's been tough. Had its roller coasters up and down, just trying to get acclimated to, changing teams.
It caught a lot of people off guard, especially I know a lot of Raptors fans. It looked like it caught you off guard as well. Masai Ujiri, the Raptors GM, came out in the press conference and said, I believe it was a gap in communication with you. And he said he spoke with you during Summer League in Las Vegas and said that he think his mistake was that he was talking to you about what to expect moving forward with the organization. I have to ask, from your standpoint, is that an accurate assessment of what you garnered from that conversation?
No, because all summer, through the talks we had, through the talks he had with my agent, it seemed like I was in that discussion of moving forward with the team. My whole approach was like every single summer, preparing, going out there, supporting the young guys in Summer League, figuring out ways how I could be better, make my team better. And that was the feeling, and that was the gist of the conversations we had, was moving forward, having the opportunity to do something special all over again. So that was my mindset, and, everybody around me mindset as well.
In that same press conference, he talked about how he gave the team a chance when he took his role. Do you think it was necessary for the organization to make that move and trade you? And why ultimately do you think things just didn't work out?
I mean, when you say them, that's kind of a frustrating wording to put. Like, who is them? You putting blame on just me and Casey, because obviously we the only two who, had to suffer from, the loss that we had in the Cleveland series. But, it's only one team we lost to in the postseason, and that team went to the finals every single year. And with the opportunity approaching itself, my mindset, the rest of my teammates' mindset was the only guy that was in our way making that happen, leave. Now we got a great opportunity to do something that we haven't been able to do, and that was all our mindset. So for that wording to be put out there, gave you chances, gave this, at the end of the day, I gave everything I had to that team. Every single day and night, whatever was asked for me, to make us better. And it showed. It showed in the progress that we made as a team, as me as an individual. So when you put that out there saying, gave them chances and I had to do something, it's BS to me.
You and Masai go way back. You guys have a long relationship. Did that hurt you more so, just the fact that you did have that relationship with him and feel like you probably deserve to be told something up front as far as your future in that concern?
No question. I mean, when you use the word family or, brother or whatever things other people use lightly, for me, once you use that term, I stick by that term. I stand by that term. So whether it's something I like or don't like, I'm going to accept it if you come to me and let me know beforehand. But don't make one thing seem like another thing and catch me off guard and do something else. That was my whole problem. I understand how the game go, how the business go. My mindset was always want to be in Toronto my whole career. But I was never naive of that not happening. Just let me know. Don't have me thinking otherwise. And that's where my issue came from. That's where my frustration came from, and I think it showed. From the fans to even myself. It just caught me completely off guard.
What was your emotions like when you first heard that you were being dealt?
Man, I was really stuck. I was like, I couldn't think for a second, because it just didn't feel real. Like I said, I didn't have no indication like it would be something else. If I knew that, I wouldn't have reacted the way I did. I would have been prepared for it. But it caught me completely off guard, because I'm thinking this is another summer. move forward. I just came from Vegas supporting all the young guys. I talked to my teammates every single day how we could get better. So they hit me with that at midnight out the blue. Like, come on. 2 days prior, it was asked, is anything going on? If it is, just let me know, because the rumors keep coming out. Yeah. 2 days later, you going here.
In 2016, when you were a free agent, most people thought you were going to be Laker bound. Going back to now, we're here in Los Angeles right now. That didn't happen. You didn't even take a meeting with the team. Toronto has a hard time attracting marquee free agents, and they also have a hard time retaining some of their main stars. Why was it so important for you to re-sign and not even look elsewhere, not even give other teams any time at all to re-sign with the Toronto Raptors at that point in your career?
Day one, when I was drafted to the Toronto Raptors, they had the stigma on them. Every guys leave, nobody want to be here, superstars, nobody want to play in Canada. From day one, my whole mindset and approach to the game, being in Toronto, was I wanted to change that whole narrative to that whole organization. That's why I worked my butt off like I did. That's why I pushed. That's why I pushed. That's why I repped so hard to get that stigma off it. You know what I mean? And that was another example in my career where I could prove that by not have to meet with nobody else. Get this done within the first 30 minutes of free agency and keep moving, you know, to try to make a statement. You know, that was always my mindset and approach. And, you know, you could tell by the connection I have with the fans. You know, was that. You know, I never thought about elsewhere. I never mentioned elsewhere. You know, I love that place. You know, it's literally my second home.
You can tell. Is it true that that contract year, 2016, is it true that you were asked to take less money to better the team?
I asked, what can I do to help? I didn't want to put us in no jam where we wouldn't be able to help the team by bringing in other guys. I didn't want to just ask for the max. You know, I wanted to do whatever I could to make sure anything we need to have down the line we could have. You know, that was my whole approach. You know, it was always, you know, sacrificing for the betterment of the team. You know, I didn't really care about myself at that point. I made it clear I wanted to be there. Now, what can I do to help? You know, and that was my mindset.
Did you feel like things were done to kind of help facilitate the growth of the team after you took that sacrifice?
Yeah. You know, think about it. That next season, you know, we did better than the previous season. You know, we definitely did. And, you know, that gave me comfort of understanding moving forward we could keep, you know, capitalizing on what we didn't do the prior year. You know, we did. You know, to look at this past season and look at, you know, we set so many records. You know, it's not a year within the last 5 years where it wasn't a record set. So that speaks volumes.
Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Chris Bosh, the list goes on. But when people think about Mr. Raptor, you're the name that pops up. So if that's the case, did you ever envision a scenario where a situation like this can happen to you?
Be honest with you, no. No. I was so mentally in this being my home. You know, just being my home and being able to create everything that hadn't been done there. You know, I took pride in that. You know, I took pride in, you know, in the community. I took pride in everything when it came to Canada. Not even just Toronto, just everything that came with Canada, wearing that Toronto Raptors jersey. You know what I mean? And that's why it was so tough and emotional for me when I first heard it, you know, because everybody know the type of guy I am, you know, in the show when I went out there and played, whether it was for the good or it was for the bad, you know, I took it like a man.
When word did get out that you were being dealt to San Antonio, there was like an outpouring of players tweeting, Instagramming, saying how DeMar was done wrong. He should have his statue out there outside of Air Canada Center. When you saw that outpouring from your peers, what was that experience like?
Man, it was one of probably the most overwhelming situations in my career. you know, to see your peers, you know, how they view you with a certain organization. You know, a lot of guys, I don't even have their number. We're not even cool, you know what I mean? But to see that, it speaks for itself. You know, it speaks for itself, and it was great to have that type of support from your peers, seeing it. You know, and that something like that carries a long way. So for me to see that, man, it was definitely an honor.
How do you feel you were treated, particularly by Masai Ujiri?
I felt like I wasn't treated with what I sacrificed for 9 years, you know, with the respect that I thought I deserved, by just giving me the say-so of letting me know something's going on, or it's a chance. That's all I wanted. I'm not saying you don't have to train me, or you just let me know something going on, because I sacrificed everything. Just let me know. You know what I mean? And that's all I ask. You know what I mean? Everybody know I'm the most low-maintenance person in the world. Just let me know so I can prepare myself for whatever my next chapter is. And I didn't get that.
Did you ask if you were going to be traded?
I asked, was I going to be traded? Was there anything going on if it was a chance I would be traded? And on multiple occasions, no, it was nothing. If it is, we'll let your agent know and me know.
So with what you've gone through right now, and a lot of players take a lot of flack from fans and pundits about marquee free agents flipping over to teams who are probably have stacked squads, and so they get called snake or whatever. But nobody really calls out the organization or says anything about the organization once they trade players. Do you have a different viewpoint based on the situation you've been at?
Man, the city, the organization, utmost respect by far for me. Ownership, I love them. From Larry to his wife to his whole family, great. The fans, you know, my issue is just how I was dealt with this one individual, what I was told from this one individual, you know, and how things was handled with that. That's my only issue, you know, and that's the things that you got to watch in this business sometimes. And it makes you be a player to where, you know, I don't trust you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to feel more comfortable with this person that, you know, I could trust, that tells me something, that, you know, reach out, and when they use certain words like family or friends, they extend that. Whether it's something you may want to hear or you may not want to hear, at least they being that friend or family member to you enough to tell you, you know, and that's my whole issue.
Have you talked to, well, I know it's one of your main guys, have you talked to Kyle Lowry since?
Yeah, I talk to Kyle every day.
What was that conversation like initially?
I remember when I found out it was 12 a.m. in LA. It was midnight. I called his phone. I blew his phone up. He was in Philly. You know, I know it was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Blowing his phone up till he answered. He answered, and I told him. And you could tell he was asleep. And he was like, what? Like he just sounded out of it, right? My phone was going crazy. I said, man, I'm going to hit you, man. They ain't out yet. They'll be out in the morning. I woke up in the morning. He sent me a long text. And he couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? But he gave me some words that helped me through that whole day, what to prepare for it. But, you know, as him just being my brother outside of my teammate, you know, he was there for me in that moment. And you could tell it affected him as well. So it was cool just to have that support from him, whatever I did.
Is there anything that you can share that sticks out to what he told you?
Nah, I'll let him do it. I'll let him do it at some point, I'm pretty sure, you know, because he haven't spoke on it. He haven't said nothing. He didn't even want to put no posts up or anything, because whenever he speak, you know, it's definitely going to be something that's from the heart.
Yeah. So as you make the transition, what was your thoughts initially about going over to San Antonio?
I mean, I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock. I mean, second person I talked to that night that I'm close friends with is Rudy Gay. I called him. I remember I was upset. And I call him like, man, dude just traded me, man. Like, what? Rudy was like, what? To who? I said, man, to y'all. He started laughing. He said, look, I don't mean to laugh, but I got my boy back, man. That's like, but you gonna be all right, man. Don't worry about it. Everything. And I was like, man, I shouldn't even call you. I should have waited till it came out and you called me. But it was cool just to, be able to call my man, somebody that's close in my life. That's on the Spurs too. So he made it easy.
And you guys recently played on same Drew League team this past weekend.
Yeah. And he wanted to do that. So that was his idea. So it was cool, like I said, just to do something like that and go out there and play with Rudy too.
There's going to be another bit of a transition playing for Coach Casey and then going over playing for Coach Pop. It seemed like two different styles of coaching. And I know you're going to Team USA, the mini camp down there, and Coach Pop is coaching that. What are your expectations in playing for Coach Pop?
First and foremost, I've always been a fan of Pop. I always spoke highly of Pop, even before I even met Pop and knew Pop. It was just something about him, from the way he run his team, the way he coached, his credibility, everything that stands out about Pop, you just got to love. And me being a basketball fan, growing up watching the Spurs, when they used to play, what was that, the Alamo Dome? I remember watching them battle out with the Lakers. Like, I remember everything, and so to have this opportunity to play with a legendary coach at this point in my career, man, I think it's one of them blessings that's in disguise, because, this is a cool moment to be with a guy like that, and I've been with Case for the majority of my career. That gave me the ultimate freedom to be myself, man. And first thing Case texted me when the move was made is, I'm a love Pop. And to hear that from my coach, making the transition to my new coach, just make it easy.
You always, every summer, every off season, you make sure you work on one particular part of your game, try to improve upon that. What is that this summer, now that you're making this switch?
Honestly, I never really, I let it show, but this time around, I think it's going to be hell for a lot of people. No question.
Why so, DeMar?
Just, just this whole transition of making this move, it kind of make you look back at your career in a sense of what points you could have been better at, how you could have been better at it, the success that you had, the failures that you had. And you kind of accumulate all that into a ball of motivation and hunger and kind of frustration on top of this situation happening. Feel like you get knocked back down. I'm going to start from the bottom to show why I've been the player I've been. But this time with a whole different level of I don't care about nothing else.
DeMar, you've never been through anything like this, but it seems like over the last 3 or 4 years, there's been talk about loyalty and players switching, going over, choosing their own fate. Kevin Durant going to Golden State, LeBron going to Miami back in the day. What was your viewpoint, or what was your stance on that then? And do you have a new viewpoint on that now that you've been?
I mean, from the outside, being able to see guys that you cool with, make them transitions, see the reaction that they get, you got to realize whatever makes the player happy, you have to support that. Guys understand what makes them happy. For me, being in Toronto, wanting to be there my whole career, made me happy. If I had a change of heart and I wanted to be happy somewhere else, that's me wanting to be happy for myself. So you can't really knock a player happiness if they want to change a team. You know what I mean? Because that's their loyal. First and foremost, you got to be loyal to yourself. And for me, that's why I take the approach with everything. And so my view don't change, at all. I go to a new organization, do the same thing. It's not going to change the person I am. Now it's a new chapter in my life to where I can exploit the type of person I am and engulf in that and be the best person and player I could be in that situation.
What will you most remember about your time as a Toronto Raptor?
I most remember, man, there's so many. It's so hard to say one particular moment because it's like I can name a million things that went on in Toronto that's priceless, from the fans to everything. Like just it's to All-Star being there, to making the playoffs, to seeing Jurassic Park for the first time, to so many moments, man. Like it's something I'll never forget, and without a doubt, it's no replacing Toronto in my heart and my mindset because, like I said, I put it all and laid it all out there, and just to see people talk about, even just mention me the greatest player in Raptors history. Come on, man, that's an honor. I'm 28 years old, and you putting me in that category, like, it's amazing.
That's no doubt.
Yeah.
Drake reach out?
Yeah, I would. The day it came out, I was with the Drake house. Me and him setting talk for a couple of hours, man, and just not even on the hoop stuff, just my partner, and just to hear the words that come from him, being the person that he is in this world, especially in Toronto, what I meant to the city, it was what I needed, so it was cool.
So what are the Spurs getting in a player of DeMar DeRozan's caliber?
Man, it's a guy that's been proven to prove itself time and time again. And this time around, having the biggest chip on his shoulder ever that I done had in my career, when they carried that over and played for a championship, period.